So I'm walking around my little circle I was telling you guys about. And as you can hear, I'm walking with the cane. This is my second little lap. Seems like body changes, living in confusion. Alright, this is third one. I think I'm gonna take a break after this one. Like that, my side is starting to hurt. Whew. Definitely do some stretches because it just feels really tight. Chiropractor, massage, all that helps. Steam room, jacuzzi, and all that. It usually is not covered. Fasting and dry fasting, and the only thing that I had to eat one day was those little dipping cups of guacamole. I had that, and then one day after brushing my teeth, I had a little bit of baking soda with water. So I contribute all that to the weight loss, and I wanted you to see what the body is looking like. So the legs obviously had lost a lot of weight, and then the midsection, I don't think you can even see. I don't think there's enough light. Let's see here. Alright, I'm gonna do some stretches. I put on a little lip gloss for you. And my body hurts right now, but I'm gonna try to finish up my little exercise routine. Do some stats on this weight loss. I hope you can see. Show you the weight loss. This is why I was splitting out the pants when I gained all that weight. That's why there's a hole on the sides, because the booty had gotten so big it just started busting at the seams. And this is my keys. So this is what we're looking like. I'm gonna try to do some stretches. Hurts right now, especially on this side, when I do the stretches. But when I'm using the cane, I'm going to lean on this cane, so that's why I try not to use the cane when I'm exercising. But because I'm in so much pain and I still want to exercise, I'm going to use the cane. Eventually, if I keep doing this, I should be able to do it without the cane, but we'll see. And usually I just go side to side, which right now probably isn't the time to do it because it is creating quite a bit of pain right now. And I'm just going to take it slow. That's the whole idea, is just to take it slow, just to get active again. I think the weight that I have in the mid area will eventually burn off if I just keep trying to be active. I don't eat very much and I don't snack, so I can definitely relate to people who say that they don't eat much and they're still heavy set. I do understand. For me, I don't know if this is going to apply to everyone else, but for me it had to do with my hormones changing. It had to do with stress levels, which I did decrease, but there are some stressors that you don't even realize that you're stressing over. And I believe that to be the case too. I also was not as active. Like, I literally have to make an effort to get up and stand, to just stand, to be able to stand. As you know, I have a wheelchair and will probably always kind of need one given the type of accidents that I've had and the type of injuries and the type of pain that I get when I just overdo it. That pain is just unbearable. So I know that I'll probably always need some type of device or gadget or something to assist me. I've accepted that. However, I still go out of my way to make sure that I'm getting the exercise, that I'm still putting in the effort, and then when I need the gadgets, I use the gadgets. So I don't want to over extend my body to the point where I cannot function. So that's why I do use the devices. I can tell the difference when it's time is too much and it's now time to rest. I get it. And then I still keep up with some type of exercise program or plan. Even with my food, I do the best I can with meal planning and ways to eat a little something, a bite of something. And so that's why I said I can totally relate to people who don't really eat and are what they would consider fat or huge or out of shape, whatever the title may be. I understand and I can relate because I really don't eat that much. I truly do not eat that much. And the easiest way I tend to lose weight is when I do dry fasting. I lose the weight and the inflammation. So the dry fasting works for me. A dry fasting isn't for everyone, and it shouldn't be something that you do on a whim. I think you should kind of know your body. You should know your status. You should know what's going on with you, because if you're dehydrated, of course you don't want to start doing some type of intermittent fasting or dry fasting and you're going through some type of medical condition. If you're already there, you want to know what you're able to do and what you probably should not do until you get some things under control. Now, for myself, I was kind of forced in this position because I didn't get the medical care when I was down south. And then to be removed from the emergency room hospital, there was so much that happened to me. I had no choice but to just go blindly into fasting to be able to try to heal myself. I mean, that experience down south was so crazy to me, and they never answered for it. I never got a letter in the mail. I never got an apology. I didn't even get an explanation as to what the hell just happened, because it didn't make sense. Like I said, I've worked for a bank. I have no criminal history or background, so there was no need for a police to even be interacting with me. So I still have a problem with that situation. It's not about forgiving someone. It's the fact that that was an injustice done and it was never corrected, and no one took the time every place that I wrote to, they would say, well, you only have 30 days to have that complaint. Well, I wrote you 30 days ago, or they would say, well, we don't have the money to look in every case that we get. Apparently they get quite a few cases down there down south, and that's even more irritating, because you get these groups like Black Lives Matter and all these other human rights. What's going on? Because it seems like they're getting the money, but I don't see the results as far as in our system. I'm not seeing those changes. I mean, if you can still incarcerate an innocent person out of a hospital, you have a serious problem on your hand. That's a serious problem to me, because not only did you prevent me from getting the health care that I need, and that you've already allowed it X amount of dollars for me to get each month to be able to care for myself as a disabled person. Now, that's a whole nother complaint that I had, and perhaps they were harassing me because I've complained over the insurance company using Social Security and government benefits to not pay. Because your insurance company, when you become disabled and unable to work that full-time job, there's supposed to be like a supplement. That was the type of disability insurance that I signed up for. Well, what I didn't know was what was happening is that at the bank every year when they go to renew those benefits, they change a couple of things in the background. You don't know that you no longer have a particular type of insurance. All you know is it's called disability insurance. If you become unable to work, then they will pay you. But they were taking out little details that said if you're mental health, or if you're, all these little things. Well, I didn't have any of that, so they had to still keep paying me. But how they finally found a loophole after several years was that they required me to apply for government stuff. So I had to apply for Social Security. I had to apply for the food stamps, the housing. When you apply, how they have it now to make it easier for people, is there's only one good thing about it, is they have you apply for everything. So whatever benefits that you may need, they go ahead and check off all the blocks for you. And if you qualify for their programs, then of course you'll get what you qualify for. And unfortunately, when you're on disability and you're getting that insurance money, sometimes they look at that as an income. It depends on what state you're in. It depends on what county. It really just depends on how things are set up in that area that you're in. So you really have to get the details of things if you become disabled and you need assistance. Because the most difficult part when we talk about discrimination is being disabled. And we are the most vulnerable when it comes to being disabled, the disability, and being up there in age. Because here in America, they're not so keen about hiring the disabled. Maybe in other countries, but here in America, it's very difficult when you're disabled to get that employment that you're looking for and to be up there in age. So you have a lot of negatives that you're trying to turn into a positive, in addition to your health care and trying to get your basic needs taken care of. So of course, meditation and all those type of self-care routines make a difference in your life when you're going through situations like that. And to make matters worse, stress does not help your condition. Stress is probably the worst scenario that you could have play out being a disabled individual. And the temperatures make a difference when you're taking those medications. So 1 minute is hot, next minute is cold. And if you're up there in age, you're probably going through menopause. So for me, the point of all this was intermittent fasting, dry fasting, and 1 meal a day helped me through all those difficulties dealing with the disability and being disabled. Intermittent fasting helped me when I went through being diagnosed with cancer and had to take the methotrexate. Being diagnosed after being hit by the vehicle and not being told what was going on with me. I mean, it was so much that I lost, I don't want to say respect and comfort, but I lost the belief system that our leaders and these organizations knew what they were doing. That's when I realized that they honestly do not know what the hell that they're doing. That they're just handing out some cans of food and putting up some nice looking flyers, but when it comes to you really needing their services and for them to investigate stuff and look into things, they're not following through. Just like with the pedestrian accident, I had to call to Oklahoma to make sure that they were going to get paid. And they were like, well, they have to do this and they have to do that. And the insurance companies tell me, well, we have to do this. Well, at the end, apparently they were able to get away with it because they didn't have to do too much of anything. They got away with not paying. They got away with not paying me for that pedestrian accident. They got away with not paying Medicare for the medical care that I got, because I also got physical therapy while I was down south traveling. I had to get physical therapy to even get back home, to be able to drive and get myself back to California. So it was a horrible experience. And I tell you, being thrown in jail and being innocent is the worst feeling on earth. And interacting with these people who assume that you're guilty for something. So it's really a terrible system. And I know people say, well, the system is messed up. No, the people are messed up. The people are messed up because the people are the one that's doing the job. They're not doing their jobs. That the people are the ones that make the decision of whether or not you're going to jail. The people are the ones that take the time to investigate what exactly is going on. And none of that took place. So that's when I always tell people, when you tell me that it's the system, it's not the system, it's you. It's all these people who don't believe that all this crap is going on, and it's going on. You're not the only one that they've done that to. There's things that happen on a regular, and you're not the only one that has happened to. So where do you go? You hire an attorney? Do you go to these Black Lives Matters agencies to try to get someone to investigate what has just happened to you, even when there's black faces that's involved with it? It's terrible. It's a horrible scenario to have to try to figure out and get through and find a way to not only get your money that's owed to you, and then you got people running around when nobody owes you nothing. Look, I paid into this system. I paid for that insurance policy. I paid for this so-called, let me help the people that fall through the cracks. I paid for all that stuff. So yeah, I'm expecting something. I am expecting something. I'm expecting a lot from these people because you promised me a lot. You promised me a lot as a disabled individual. You got all these little programs and all these little titles that you come up with that's supposed to be a support system that's not there. And then you want to turn around and ask me, where's my family? Well, who wants to be a burden to your family? That's why I paid for the insurance. That's why I supported you in these so-called programs that you came up with and said that it would be able to help people so they don't fall through the cracks. That's why I chose to be a part of this so-called system. But people aren't showing up. People aren't doing the job. They're expecting the universe and something higher to do daily work, to do daily jobs, and then turn around and tell everybody everything happened for a reason. That's not true. You're manipulating the system is what's true. You're lying to people is what's true. And that's what's so horrible in all of this is that what do you do? What in the world do you do?